Hey, this is Dave from metalepidemic.com. Thank you for checking out our YouTube video. Please feel free to hit the subscribe button below if you like this type of content, and we hope you enjoy the review. So, for this review, Duncan and I have been checking out the new EP, The Rift, from Swedish-German outfit Svärd. The Rift will be released on July 3rd via Argonauta Records. Now, I say Swedish-German because this band are mainly made up of two other bands. You may have heard of, I know Duncan and I certainly have. The two bands in question are Swedish progressive death metal band In Mourning and German doom band Ahab, who we seem to mention on pretty much every review anyway, so this review is no different.
I've not listened to an Ahab album in about 5 years.
No.
Just recently, they keep. I don't know why. Every Doom review, for some reason, whenever I want to talk about heavier Doom, Ahab comes. I don't know why. All I know is I do love Ahab, and this is shaming me to go and listen to more Ahab.
Yes, we are big fans of both bands. So we were definitely intrigued to hear what this collaboration would sound like. And I think there are some elements you might expect. There are a few doom/sludge influences in this band's sound, but it's also mixed with some more kind of traditional, kind of heavy metal moments, and a little dose of psychedelia in there as well. So this EP is 5 tracks long, although the opening track is a minute-long intro that kind of sets up the remaining 4 tracks. The first main track is called A Rift in the Green, which just kind of sets the tone for this EP perfectly, in my opinion. It is chock full of sludgy riffs, monster grooves, and a very hook-laden chorus, I think it's safe to say. It puts you in mind of bands like Mastodon, a little bit of the kind of Baroness in there.
Oh yeah, early Baroness for sure.
Yeah. And Doomriders, if you've ever heard of them, a little bit of them as well. That kind of sort of vibe. Very strong opener, would you say?
Oh yeah, I mean, there was this EP's tailored for me. This is my wheelhouse, Dave. So sit back and allow me to take over. No, like this very much like hit me straight away. You can totally tell there's the weirdly it's kind of like middle Mastodon kind of sound, if you know what I mean. It's somewhere in their middle catalogue for sure. Not the heavier stuff that they're known for, but it's in there as well. But I was also getting the elements of like Red Fang, a bit of Black Tusk as well in there. Which, you know, all those things are specifically what I'm tailored for, but what they have, which I think puts them in the same realm as like a Baroness, and I'm sorry for just name dropping every band, is, and you touched on it there, is like there's a lot of stuff here which is predictably of the genre, and then you get the chorus and it's just fucking awesome, nice and catchy, hooky, fits perfectly, and kind of dances around with everything they're doing. So I mean, you're right, this like, because to me, if you're going to have an EP and there's only 5 songs on it, how dare you put like a less than a minute like intro to it? It feels like a cop out. Granted, the last track is over 9 minutes long, so but yeah, it was a perfect fucking. I knew after listening to the first song I was going to dig a lot about this.
Yeah, I kind of thought that. The second track, however, while it still has those kind of little shades of Mastodon in terms of like the lead work, overall this track definitely felt like the band were trying to kind of inject more of their personality on this one. Had a more of a kind of punk aesthetic in terms of the energy and the character of the riffs, and the more kind of direct vocal delivery. My favourite groove of the EP though.
Oh, favourite groove. This should be a new segment. Favourite groove.
Favourite groove.
That's my groove.
I like the theme music.
Thank you.
It comes on this track called The Burning Asylum. Amazing. The opening riff like just makes you want to bang your head. It's built for banging your head. But I think as that track kind of progresses, it becomes like one of the more kind of fascinating songs on the EP. It's got a slightly darker tone, and as it progresses, it probably shows off, or it showcases the kind of level of like skill this band actually has, especially the drummer. Obviously, I'm a big fan of drummers. Cornelius Althammer, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I thought he sounded great on this track. I loved the kind of switch up of the kind of off-kilter rhythms to the more kind of upbeat, kind of punkier tempos. Just a kind of really interesting drummer to listen to.
Yeah, I think this is the track where more of the kind of Ahab influence started coming in, if you know what I mean. Not in terms of just like heaviness, but there's a marked shift in tonality away from like kind of brighter, catchier sounding chords to kind of darker, more ominous elements. Which I think suits it better. Like, it's totally offset by the kind of punkier stuff going on here. There's a really good contrast, works very well. Yeah,
absolutely. The last track, track 5, is called Porto, and this is where we hear the band start to kind of lean more into the more kind of atmospheric, the psychedelic influences that I mentioned in the beginning, but they're still kind of mixed in with those like sludgier traits that we heard earlier on in the EP. As you mentioned, it's the longest track on the EP, just over 9 minutes. So for me, like the arrangement of this felt kind of less traditional, and musically kind of heads down a kind of more experimental path. But I really liked the overall feel of this track, though. It kind of showed another side to Svärd, and I felt like it kind of allowed them to kind of stand out for the pack a little bit. I really hope that they kind of expand on this a wee bit more with like kind of future releases, if they're going to do like a full length or something like that. What did you make of the last track?
Oh yeah, I loved it as well. To me, it's if anything, it's the one that it's the one that stood out the most to me, because it's the one where I felt like I've been name dropping bands like pretty much all the way through the review. The Porto was the first time that I thought I was listening to something which felt more authentically what the band might sound like if they go long form. And that's kind of where I got like quite a bit excited. And you always have to temper these things. 2 bands already exist, so you know, are we going to get another Svärd record anytime in our near future? Is this a one-off? I kind of hope it isn't. I really kind of hope that they build on this. We've heard like their influences for sure from both bands kind of playing around here, but the last one just sounded like a really cool jam session where but weirdly kind of oxymoronic as it sound, like a focus jam session where they were really like making sure that all the parts fit. It's like you were saying, like when you go, arrangement on any long track is key, because if you play something too much, it becomes repetitive and boring. If you don't play something enough or mix it up enough, you also risk the danger of losing interest. And it was varied enough to the point where like, you know, it pops up when I added it into my iTunes, Dave. The description was heavy psych metal. And I was like, yes, let's do this. And the kind of the quote unquote psych stuff isn't really prevalent in the first half of this EP. It's really all ladled at the end, and that was the bit that really kind of most got me excited. So yeah, like Porto is a stunning way to finish it, and I genuinely can't wait to see what comes next. I know we say that a lot, but there are certain bands, trust me, we maybe don't do necessarily all the reviews on YouTube of them. There are certain bands that when I listen to them, I'm like that, I'm one and done, you know what I mean? I don't need to listen to you again. I know your stuff and it just doesn't suit me. Then you get stuff like this where it sounds at times a bit samey with other musicians or other groups that you're aware of, but there's something there which is of interest to me that is genuinely curious to see, like 2 years down the line, if they decide to record something else, how that'll sound. Will it go back to those kind of key tomes that were mentioned between bands like Baroness, etc., or will this go down more the road of the Porto? And if it does, that's the bit that I really look forward to.
Yeah, totally agree. There are obviously kind of familiar influences on this EP, and there's nothing wrong with that. It sounds awesome, but it's on those kind of more expressive moments that they really come into their own, in my opinion. I'm really looking forward to hearing what these guys do next. If this EP is just like a taster, then I'd imagine on like a full length, these guys could really like take you on a bit of a journey with their style. Yeah, very impressed as a kind of an EP or a debut from these guys. I'm looking forward to what's coming next. Rating wise, I would say for me this is probably a 4 out of 5 at this point.
Yep, I'm with you 100%. It's certainly a lot of promise for sure. One that I think I definitely will go back to as well, which is the thing I'm looking forward to. This is a good it's a good breaker between listening to some of the heavier stuff. You shove this album on as a bit of this EP on as a bit of a palate cleanser, and it has room to breathe as well. I'm desperate for something more long form from them. 4 seems right, Dave.
Yeah, agreed. If you want to check these guys out, you'll find them on Facebook, facebook.com/Svärd Sweden, and you can check out the band and check out the EP when it drops on July 3rd. And thanks for checking out this review, and we'll be back soon with another. Until then, take care. Speak to you soon.
Bye, everyone.